So, why did we choose the IMF coffee roaster? Hey guys, Luke here from Artisti Coffee Roasters, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, where we guide you through all things coffee. So you don't miss out on our latest content. Hey, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you get notified when we put up our latest video. And if you've got a question, put it in the comments below. We'd love to answer them for you. So the big question is why did Artisti Coffee Roasters and myself choose to buy an IMF roasting plant? Well, there are 5 things that I looked at when assessing lots of roasters out there and what would suit us best. So for me to assess all the different roasters out there and what best suited our needs, I needed something to standardize that. And the things that I looked at were size, price, quality, performance, and control. So I'm going to dig deeper into each one of those now, and hopefully that gives you a good idea as to why the IMF was the best solution for us. So in my investigations, the biggest thing that I found was different across all roasters was the actual size of the whole plant once it was installed in a factory. Now you can see here that the IMF is actually really compact. It's actually so compact that this was designed for a much smaller space in another facility that we had. And we only had a roof height of 3.4 meters. And it was actually up 8 stairs. And we were going to stay in that location until we grew and we realized there were some other constraints that were affecting the business from growing, like getting pallets of green beans landed and forklift access. So we moved into this premises, and obviously size isn't an issue for us here. But the whole area of our roaster, the blender, our packing station, and the benches behind us all fits in a 6.5 meter by 6.5 meter space. So when you start thinking about how you're going to be spending money on rent space per square meter and how big your actual facility is just from that perspective of cost, getting it smaller actually is a very good financial reason for buying an IMF roaster. So the equivalent roasters I was looking at would be about 4 times the size, and the height was huge because the afterburner was way up near the exhaust vents going out through the roof. And they actually had 2 heat sources. They had one for the actual roaster and one for the afterburner. So that's so much more gas that's actually going to be used. So this unit here is only about 2 meters wide and 3 meters long. So it's really quite compact to fit your destoner, your afterburner, and your roaster all together. Now we do have our loader just a little bit off to the side, but that's only about 800 by 800, and you could move that anywhere because it does come through with the suction hose. And so the roaster here is only about 2.4 meters high. So we didn't have an issue there with that roof. Now, the other thing is the blender. So if you're going to pre-blend or post-blend, you need somewhere to store those beans after you've roasted them. And this unit will go through the destoner and up to the preload hopper. That actually sits at 3.4 meters high. The actual width of that unit is only 2.5 meters, and the depth is 2 meters. And that can handle 120 kilos of coffee that's all blended together. So it's very compact to have such a big capacity. So when you look at, I guess, bang for your buck in terms of output and volume and space, we can comfortably do 700 kilos in an 8-hour shift. And if you did that over 5 days, you've got 3.5 ton. And you're not even pushing this equipment in such a small area. So that's something that was really important for me in consideration of what machine to buy. So quality. Is the IMF roaster built strong and to my expectations? The simple answer is yes. There is just so much engineering that goes into refining all this technology in such a small space. They've actually done an amazing job. The durability of the panels, the finish of the work, just every little bit of detail for me just ticks all the boxes. And the engineering side on how it actually works and just being able to achieve this actually amazes me. We've had the roaster for 4 years. We've only had 2 real issues. One was a little software bug that got fixed up, and the other was a hardware issue, which was really easy to fix. It was just a readjustment of a spring. So overall, the quality for us is just outstanding. We think it's reliable, and we've had great success over those 4 years. Performance. So it's not just about how quick you can roast coffee. It's about the overall package and how well you can get your beans into your hopper, how easy it flows around the whole roaster itself, and this unit works amazing. There's a couple of vacuums that will control the green bean straight up to the top, and there's another vacuum which will put it up to the loader as well. There's no delay in time, or we're not waiting for any one part of this roast to either put green bean up or to go through the destoner or put it up to the blender. So that performance is really well timed and executed perfectly for us according to our roast times. So we can get roast times anywhere from 13 minutes to 17 minutes, wherever you want to go, because the heat on this is amazing. I liken this to a Formula One race car over a V8 race car, where you might have a V8 engine and 5 gears. The Formula One car has a V12 with multiple gears, and as you're zooming around a corner, you can just be changing gears as much as you like. There is just so much heat on tap here. It's astounding that even though it's a 30 kilo roaster, I can put a 32 or almost a 33 kilo roast in there and still achieve the exact time that we would want for a 30 kilo roast. So there is just huge amounts of heat, and I cannot stress that enough. It is just beautiful to work with, but it is controllable heat. So that performance just gets a huge tick now that we've actually been able to use it. In the beginning, I wasn't really sure about the science and how this was going to work. It is quite a technical roaster, but we've come to love it, and we've come to be able to tame that beast, to be honest. So again, really happy with the performance of the roasting capability and the performance of how the whole unit works. Control. The IMF roaster is controlled by the Siemens PLC, and this is used in so many other manufacturing businesses and components around the world, and we all know and heard of Siemens before. And so this PLC is very easy to use. It's simplistic to touch what we want to turn on or off, or easily adjust any of the motors or the fans or any of the devices in this unit. The great thing is that this is actually connected straight to the internet, so we can have people dial in from Italy to assess what's happening with the roaster if there was a problem. And that's been a real help when we did have that bug we talked about earlier. So last of all, price. For me, the whole package with an IMF, it all was put together as one big option. The blender, the destoner, the green bean loader, and all the other things you need to consider, your gas, your electricity, all of that overall was a cheaper price than other units. Now, that's probably an apple for apples scenario. We didn't have to sort of add on a destoner or add on an afterburner and then the price change. Where we've had some real big wins is the one heat source through the afterburner and that vortex system is using far less gas than what I projected to be able to run this day in and day out. So the installation of this roaster was really quick. We had it off the truck and here very quickly, and when the tech turned up within 8 hours, we were able to start firing it up and run some roasts. With other units, you do actually have quite a couple of weeks worth of build time, and you have to get techs flown out from Italy to be able to build that, and obviously the cost of flights and accommodation for them to do so can really add up. The physical size of the IMF plant takes up far less space than other roasters in your factory. So that is a big cost saving ongoing. If you think about the rent you're paying and how much space it takes to fit a roaster in, you do some maths and it's a huge long-term saving. So for me, overall, weighing up the initial costs and the ongoing costs, it just made sense for me to choose the IMF roaster. I feel like I got amazing value for money, great performance, a great product in our end bean that we can actually roast, and it's just a great piece of machinery to work on. So hopefully that helped you understand why I bought an IMF 30 kilo roasting plant. Now if you've got any questions, hey, shoot us a comment down below. I'd love to answer them for you. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great day. So just to clarify, we are not paid by IMF. We did not receive anything for this. It is purely our review and sharing it with you guys so that you can actually make an informed decision on your next roaster purchase. Again, any questions, please reach out to us. We're happy to answer them. Yes, we do love our purchase. Thanks very much.